Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Keep your guard up. That is what the World Health Organization is saying regarding the coronavirus.
The disease can jump up at any time. We may get a second peak in this wave.
This comes as many states, including Michigan, work to strike the delicate balance between reopening and keeping residents healthy. As Michigan takes another step forward, reopening non-essential retail, there are limits. We'll explain now at noon. And thank you for joining us right now for Local 4 News at noon. I'm Evrod Cassimy. The coronavirus pandemic, of course, topping our show at this hour. And as of our last update just yesterday afternoon, there were 12 confirmed deaths from COVID-19. And in total, we've lost more than 5,200 people to the virus. Michigan has more than 54,000 confirmed cases. This is up 202 cases. And we should let you keep in mind that both the death and case numbers are normally lower on the weekends, and it's likely the same for a holiday. New updates have been coming mid-afternoon, though. We'll bring them to you the moment that we get them here on the air and on clickondetroit.com. Now, as of Saturday afternoon, the official recovery total is 33,168. Also making headlines right now, non-essential retail businesses as well as auto showrooms in Metro Detroit can finally reopen. While there's plenty of excitement around this, there's also a little bit of uncertainty, and retailers are modifying operations to keep employees and their customers safe. Let's get out live to our business editor, Rob Maloney. He joins us now. You're taking the pulse of operations at Glassman Kia Subaru. Rod, what are you seeing out there in Southfield?
Well, the car that's pulling out behind me right now is a car that they just sold this morning. And so it's one of those things where they're starting to see business happen already. Phones have been ringing here at the dealership. We're at Telegraph and 12 Mile. They're the automobile row here with the Glassman Hyundai Kia and then the Southfield Chrysler Jeep. And it's been a steady stream of traffic here all day. Let's go inside, take a look inside the dealership here. And they've got it open now. They have their salespeople ready. They're wearing masks and doing all of the social distancing things that they're supposed to do. They're still waiting on some more plexiglass to do a little bit more social distancing inside the dealership here. But the signs are up and they're telling everybody that they're going to have to call by an appointment, get in and take care of those things, and they've been getting that accomplished. But it's become an interesting study in how business is done in terms of dealing with the changes that come your way, because they have been selling cars here over the past couple of weeks over the internet. And so now that the doors are back open, they've decided that perhaps there is a different way to do business. And we talked to George Glassman, the owner here, about his thoughts on that subject. Let's hear what he had to say.
Customers have been locked down. The stay-at-home order was in effect. And while we were open in service as an essential business, sales were limited to the remote sales. And so that's actually gone smoothly, but the volume of business wasn't where it needed to be. And hopefully this is the beginning now of the new normal.
And so George is very happy that they're open and certainly willing to do whatever it takes to sell cars. I spoke to another dealer just up the street here who told me that it's actually going to be a fairly good month this month because of the internet sales, but they certainly want to get that going. George also says he doesn't expect to be a complete run with enormous pent-up demand, but he says he thinks that he's going to stay busy, and that's where they are. So we're going to be exploring that, hit another dealership, talk to some of the customers. We'll do that coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. I'm reporting now from Southfield Live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All righty, Rod, thank you. Also making headlines this afternoon. The New York Stock Exchange allows some traders back on the floor. Governor Andrew Cuomo rang the opening bell this morning, and you might remember the New York Stock Exchange has been doing all electronic trading since March 23rd because of the coronavirus outbreak. Well, though the floor is back open, the number of in-person brokers will still be limited to small numbers. Everyone is also required to wear masks. But stocks have been soaring since that opening bell, and here is a live look for you at the Dow Jones Industrials average, which took off more than 600 points in early trading and really hasn't slowed down much. Stocks got some major momentum this morning with another American biotech company reporting a start of testing for a coronavirus vaccine. Now, there are also a number of positive economic indicators, including strong sales of single-family homes. And Detroit's big three are riding the rally wave, with General Motors, Ford, and Fiat Chrysler all showing rising stock prices today. In the meantime, the World Health Organization issues a stark warning. Countries could see a spike in the number of COVID-19 infections if they ease restrictions too soon. Now, unlike a second wave that may take months to happen, the World Health Organization said a second peak could be immediate in countries where cases are on the decline. It is important to note that we are still in the middle of the first wave of coronavirus, and we will keep you updated on how that goes. But in the meantime, the World Health Organization has temporarily suspended the use of hydroxychloroquine in a study of possible treatments for COVID-19. The decision was made after new data came to light showing lower survival rates among hospitalized patients using the drug. The announcement follows President Trump announcing that he had taken a 2-week regimen of that drug. And then also making headlines, President Trump threatens to relocate the Republican National Convention if restrictions are placed on the crowd size due to the coronavirus pandemic. The event is due to take place in North Carolina in August. North Carolina, though, currently seeing a spike in coronavirus cases there. But right now, we do want to take a look, turn our attention to the national impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Right now, there are more than 1.6 million confirmed cases here in the U.S., and more than 98,000 Americans have died. That's according to a Johns Hopkins University database. And as those numbers inch closer to the grim milestone of 100,000 lives, we're tracking new stages of state reopenings from coast to coast. Let's check in with Sam Brock. He has that report.
Americans getting back to business following a holiday billed as the new normal. But the packed parks, crammed beaches, and busy boardwalks suggest otherwise.
You see no mask here, you see no fear. We're all just embracing it.
Striking scenes of large, dense crowds, often minus masks, have officials coast to coast concerned.
There you go.
In Houston, thousands flocking to a water park opened in defiance of the governor's orders. The city's mayor dismayed by the lack of social distancing.
There are too many people who are coming together, going to some of our clubs, our bars.
In Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, this local business owner was forced to take drastic measures to manage the holiday crush.
We had to literally close our doors and stop letting people in the building several different times.
This pool party at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, a human sea of partiers that's being held up as a prime example of what can go wrong when easing restrictions too soon. St. Louis County now issuing a travel advisory urging people who were at the lake and didn't social distance to self-quarantine for 14 days or get tested. And church bells in some areas will toll with parishioners inside.
Once more giving thanks, he gave it
The
to
Archdiocese here in
saying,
Miami giving Catholics the green light to attend Mass in person starting today. Governors in California and Minnesota under siege from political and legal challenges, rolling out restricted options for worship.
To control the crowds, Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner says he's not turning a blind eye to this. He's threatening to shut down restaurants and businesses that aren't complying. Here in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis has given police the power to charge people with second-degree misdemeanors if they violate social distancing. So far, though, it's mainly been just warnings. In Palm Beach County, Sam Brock, NBC News.
And as always for you, clickindetroit.com is packed full of useful information to help get you through this crisis. Just go to clickindetroit.com/coronavirus. In other news this afternoon, more flood victims in Midland County are suing the state over the Edenville Dam failure. The lawsuit was filed by 4 Edenville residents that own property on the banks of the Tittabawassee River. The complaint alleges Eagle failed to order the necessary repairs to the dam. A Local 4 Defenders investigation found that the owners have been cited by federal regulators for more than a decade because of safety issues. The homeowners are seeking damages for the flooding and for an order declaring the conduct of Eagle unconstitutional. All right, let's switch gears here and give you a quick look at our forecast with meteorologist Brandon Roos standing by. A live look for you right now at the Detroit skyline from our Windsor Skycam. Brandon, it has been short sleeve t-shirt weather for the past few days. And a lot of people are getting their lawns cut now, too. Not a bad idea.
I know. Perfect timing. The crew behind me just started about 5 minutes ago. So it is what it is. And this is the kind of weather where really anything goes. We just want to make sure nobody's overdoing it. Listen to your body. Make sure you're sweating if you're outside doing stuff. Otherwise, it could be a sign of heat stress. Lots of water, lots of what? Sunscreen. Take a look at temperatures outside your doors. We look live here in Ann Arbor, 83 at Metro Ann Arbor, and Pontiac. Fairly light winds out of the south-southeast, but you factor in the heat and humidity, and we have feels like, or heat index temperatures that are 2-3 degrees or more warmer. Look at Flint already flirting with a heat index of 90. Temperatures are by themselves going to flirt with 90 degrees today. So we're 83 now, gaining about another 3 degrees every couple of hours. Record is 92, and there is a chance for an isolated flare-up with the heat of the afternoon, and where they happen impacts one of our very, very special outdoor activities today, Evrod. So we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up in a minute.
All righty, Brandon, we'll see you in just a few. In other news this afternoon, a portion of I-94 here in Detroit is now reopened after a crash here. It happened on westbound 94, right at Gratiot. And what appears to be a garbage truck was overturned and then blocking the freeway after that crash. And we do know that at least one other car was involved. But right now, there are no reports of any injuries. Okay, still to come here on Local 4 News at noon. Brazil appears to be entering another dark week as coronavirus cases grow by the thousands and controversy swells around the country's president. So after the break, we're going to examine the pandemic response on a global scale.